Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about a very common topic in modern life, especially in the US, which is the consumption of foods containing a lot of oil and fat. We all know that these foods are often very appealing. From crispy French fries, fragrant fried chicken, to rich pastries and convenient fast food, they easily become a part of our daily diet, especially with our busy lives. We might think that eating a little is okay. But what really happens when a little becomes too much? Regularly, day after day, week after week, the harms that eating too much oily and fatty food causes to health are much greater. And some of them might even shock you. It's not just simply about gaining weight, but about silently damaging the body, laying the foundation for serious chronic diseases that can deeply impact your quality of life, especially as you enter middle age. Today, we will together explore the shocking health harms of eating too much fatty food, delving into the specific ways these foods harm your body, why this is particularly relevant for young and middle-aged people in the US, and how understanding these harms can empower you to make healthier eating choices to protect your long-term health. Dear friends, for young and middle-aged people in the US, the diet often tends to be high in unhealthy fats, especially saturated and trans fats, found abundantly in processed foods, fast food, fried foods, fatty meats, butter, lard. This eating pattern, often formed from a young age, significantly increases the risk of developing chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes when you enter middle age and later. This is a critical stage where poor eating habits can lead to the rapid onset or worsening of these health conditions. Understanding the direct link between excessive unhealthy fat intake and serious health problems is essential to be motivated to change eating habits and prevent future medical burdens. Statistics on the dietary fat intake of Americans and the prevalence of diet-related chronic diseases in this age group clearly demonstrate the alarming link between the consumption of unhealthy fats and poor health. So, what major health harms will occur when you eat too much oily, fatty food? And some of them might even shock you. We will delve into these negative impacts together. The first harm, a burden on the body, is obesity and significant weight gain. Fat is calorie-dense, meaning a small amount of fat provides a large amount of calories. Eating excessive fatty foods makes it very easy to consume more calories than your body needs, leading to weight gain and obesity. Why does eating too much oily, fatty food cause rapid obesity? Because fat is the most concentrated source of energy, and excess calories from fat are easily stored as body fat. Example: you might find yourself gaining weight uncontrollably even if you don't eat too much in terms of quantity. Your clothes become tight. You feel self-conscious about your appearance. You have difficulty with physical activity. And you have a higher risk of other weight-related health problems. Work, family. Difficulty moving around at work. Feeling tired and lacking energy when participating in family activities. Mechanism: excess calorie intake, especially from fat, is stored as body fat. How to reduce the harm? Pay attention to portion sizes of fatty foods. Choose leaner cooking methods, baking, grilling, boiling. Be careful about hidden fats in processed foods. The second harm, the silent enemy of the heart, is cardiovascular diseases, high cholesterol, clogged arteries, heart attack, stroke, consuming excessive amounts of saturated and trans fats, found in fried foods, processed snacks, fatty meats, butter, shortening, increases bad LDL cholesterol and triglycerides in the blood, leading to plaque buildup in arteries, atherosclerosis, which is a major cause of heart attack and stroke. Why do unhealthy fats harm the heart quickly? Because they increase bad cholesterol, cause inflammation in blood vessels, and promote the formation of plaque that hinders blood circulation. Example: you might need medication to manage high cholesterol even in your 40s to 50s. Experience chest pain or shortness of breath during activity. Have a higher risk of a heart attack or stroke affecting long-term health and independence. Mechanism: saturated and trans fats negatively impact blood lipid profiles and promote arterial inflammation and plaque formation. How to reduce the harm? Strictly limit the consumption of saturated and trans fats. Choose leaner cuts of meat. Prioritize healthy unsaturated fats, olive oil, avocados, nuts. Read food labels carefully to check fat content. The third harm, the blood sugar's enemy, is type 2 diabetes. A diet high in unhealthy fats, combined with excess calorie intake leading to weight gain, can contribute to insulin resistance, making it harder for your body to control blood sugar levels. Why do unhealthy fats increase the risk of type 2 diabetes quickly? Because excess fat, especially around organs, can interfere with insulin signaling in cells, making them less effective at using glucose. Example: you might need to check your blood sugar regularly. Have a higher risk of long-term complications like nerve damage, kidney disease, and vision problems, requiring dietary restrictions and potentially medication. Work, family, feeling tired, difficulty concentrating at work, affecting ability to participate in family activities. Mechanism: excess fat in the body, especially visceral fat, can reduce the sensitivity of cells to insulin. How to reduce the harm? Reduce the amount of unhealthy fats in your diet. Focus on a balanced diet with complex carbohydrates and lean protein. Maintain a healthy weight. The fourth harm, the cell's enemy, is certain cancers. Possible links. Some research suggests a link between high intake of certain fats, especially saturated and trans fats, and an increased risk of certain cancers, including colon, breast, and prostate cancer. The mechanisms are complex and still being studied. Why might unhealthy fats increase the risk of cancer? It may be related to chronic inflammation caused by a diet high in unhealthy fats, affecting hormone levels and cell growth pathways. Example: increased long-term risk of developing these serious diseases, requiring difficult treatments. Mechanism: may be related to inflammation, hormone regulation, and cell growth pathways affected by a diet high in unhealthy fats. How to reduce the harm? Reduce the amount of unhealthy fats in your diet. Focus on a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and fiber. Maintain a healthy weight. The fifth harm, the digestive system's enemy, is digestive problems. Fat is the slowest macronutrient to digest. Eating a large amount of oily, fatty food can overload your digestive system, leading to indigestion, bloating, nausea, and discomfort. Why does fat cause digestive problems quickly? Because it takes more time and enzymes to digest fat compared to protein or carbohydrates. Example: feeling heavy and sluggish after a fatty meal, food coma, feeling. Experiencing frequent heartburn or indigestion, uncomfortable bloating and gas. Work, family. Feeling uncomfortable after a fatty lunch affecting work productivity. Or feeling uncomfortable participating in family activities after a meal. Mechanism: delayed gastric emptying, increased bile production. How to reduce the harm: eat smaller portions of fatty foods. Chew food thoroughly. Avoid eating very fatty meals before physical activity. The sixth harm, the balance's enemy, is increased systemic inflammation. Unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats and excessive omega-6 fatty acids, common in many processed foods and vegetable oils, can promote chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body, which is linked to numerous chronic diseases. Why do unhealthy fats cause inflammation? Because they affect the production of inflammatory molecules in the body. Example: worsening of inflammatory conditions like arthritis, contributing to pain and stiffness, a general feeling of discomfort or sluggishness. Mechanism: certain types of fats influence the production of inflammatory molecules in the body. How to reduce the harm: limit trans fats and excessive omega-6s. Increase intake of anti-inflammatory omega-3s from fatty fish, flax seeds. Choose healthy unsaturated fats. The seventh harm, the energy's enemy, is reduced energy levels and fatigue. Although fat provides energy, unhealthy fats are digested slower and do not provide efficient, sustained energy like complex carbohydrates or healthy fats do. Large fatty meals can leave you feeling sluggish and tired, food coma. Why do unhealthy fats cause fatigue? Because slow digestion diverts energy, and unhealthy fats do not support efficient cellular energy production. Example: feeling tired and lacking motivation after eating a fatty lunch, struggling to concentrate in the afternoon, a general feeling of low energy throughout the day. Work, family. Difficulty completing tasks at work, not having enough energy to participate in family activities after work. Mechanism: slow digestion diverts energy. Unhealthy fats do not support efficient energy production. How to reduce the harm: choose balanced meals with a mix of macronutrients. Limit large, very fatty meals. Prioritize healthy fats for sustained energy. Contrast with healthy fats for energy and cognitive function, memory and concentration, while unhealthy fats cause problems. Healthy fats are vital for health, including brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, walnuts, flax seeds, and monounsaturated fats, olive oil, avocados, nuts, are important for cognitive function. Mechanism: these fats are building blocks for brain cells, support communication between neurons, and reduce inflammation, which can improve memory and concentration. This shows the importance of choosing the right kind of fat. The eighth harm, the liver's enemy, is liver problems, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Eating too many calories, especially from unhealthy fats and sugar, can lead to excess fat accumulating in the liver. Even if you don't drink alcohol. This is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which can progress to more serious liver damage. Why does eating too much unhealthy fat cause fatty liver disease? Because excess fat is stored in liver cells. Example: feeling fatigued, discomfort in the upper right abdomen, though often no symptoms until later stages. Increased risk of liver cirrhosis or liver cancer. Mechanism: excess fat storage in liver cells. How to reduce the harm. Reduce overall calorie intake, especially from unhealthy fats and added sugars. Maintain a healthy weight. Increase physical activity. The ninth harm, the one that worsens existing conditions, is worsening of existing health conditions. If you already have conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or inflammatory diseases like arthritis, eating too many oily, fatty foods can significantly worsen your symptoms and make these conditions harder to manage. Why do unhealthy fats worsen existing conditions? Because they contribute to inflammation, poor circulation, and metabolic dysregulation, exacerbating existing issues. Example: higher blood pressure readings after eating a fatty meal. Increased joint pain and stiffness in individuals with arthritis. Greater difficulty controlling blood sugar for diabetics. Mechanism: unhealthy fats contribute to inflammation, poor circulation, and metabolic dysregulation, worsening existing problems. How to reduce the harm. Work closely with your doctor on dietary recommendations for your specific condition. Strictly limit unhealthy fats in your diet. The 10th harm, the taste bud distorter, is negative impact on taste buds and appetite regulation. Consistently eating highly palatable, calorie-dense fatty foods can alter your taste preferences, making less flavorful healthy foods seem unappealing. It can also interfere with your body's natural signals for hunger and fullness. Why does eating too much unhealthy fat distort taste? Because these foods are very appealing to the palate and can change how the brain reacts to food. Example: frequently craving unhealthy fatty foods. Healthy food tasting bland. Difficulty recognizing when you are full after a meal, leading to overeating. Mechanism: highly palatable foods can affect reward pathways in the brain and disrupt satiety signals. How to reduce the harm. Gradually reduce the amount of very fatty foods. Reintroduce yourself to the natural flavors of whole foods. Practice mindful eating, making healthier fat choices in your diet. Practical tips for busy lives. Provide actionable guidance on how to reduce unhealthy fat intake and incorporate healthy fats. Emphasize moderation and balance. Identifying unhealthy versus healthy fats. Briefly explain saturated fats, solid at room temp, butter, lard, fatty meats, and trans fats, hydrogenated oils, processed foods. Fried foods, as the ones to limit. Contrasting with unsaturated fats, liquid at room temp, olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, fatty fish, as beneficial. Simple swaps. Example: baking or grilling instead of frying. Using olive oil or avocado oil instead of butter or shortening. Choosing lean protein sources. Trimming fat from meat. Removing skin from poultry. choosing low-fat dairy, opting for baked chips instead of fried. Cooking tips: using less oil when cooking, draining excess fat from cooked meat, using non-stick pans, reading food labels, identifying saturated and trans fat content, incorporating healthy fats, adding avocado to salads, sandwiches, snacking on nuts, seeds, using olive oil in dressings, cooking, eating fatty fish regularly. Simple recipes, ideas for healthier fat choices: baked chicken breast with roasted vegetables, minimal added fat; salmon salad, canned salmon with avocado and greens; homemade trail mix, nuts, seeds, dried fruit, avocado toast, whole wheat toast with mashed avocado; salt, pepper. Who needs to be extra cautious? Recommendations and warnings. Reiterate specific warnings for individuals with existing health conditions that are worsened by high fat intake. Individuals with heart disease or high cholesterol. Strict limitation of saturated and trans fats is crucial. Individuals with type 2 diabetes. Controlling overall fat intake and choosing healthy fats is important for blood sugar management. Individuals with liver problems, especially NAFLD. Reducing overall calorie and fat intake is essential. Individuals with pancreatitis or gallbladder issues. High-fat meals can trigger severe symptoms. Frame it as, an older generation says, about being mindful of what you eat when you have health issues and seeking medical advice. Bringing it all together. Your health is an investment. Choose your fats wisely. Eating too much oily and fatty food, especially those high in unhealthy saturated and trans fats, poses significant and sometimes shocking health risks that can accelerate the development of chronic diseases. Obesity, heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, digestive issues, inflammation. These are very real consequences. But the power to change is in your hands. By understanding the harms of excessive unhealthy fats and making conscious choices to reduce them while incorporating healthy fats in moderation, you are taking crucial steps to protect your long-term health, increase your energy levels, support your cognitive function, and live a fuller, healthier life. Disease enters through the mouth. An older generation says, highlighting the direct link between diet and health. Remember that changing dietary habits, especially reducing enjoyable fatty foods, can be challenging. Encourage making gradual changes and celebrating small successes. Warn against all or nothing thinking. Moderation is key. If you have existing health conditions, always consult your doctor or a registered dietitian for personalized dietary advice. They can help you create a meal plan that meets your specific needs and manages your condition. An older generation says, moderation in eating leads to lasting health. This emphasizes the importance of moderation in eating, especially with fatty foods. Dear friends, eating too much oily and fatty food brings significant health harms. But when you understand this clearly, you have the power to make better choices. Focus on nourishing your body with healthy, balanced foods, and enjoy life with energy and vitality. Don't hesitate to share your biggest struggle with reducing fatty foods, or a healthy fat swap you love, or a health concern related to diet in the comments section below. Our community is here to share experiences and support each other. And if you found this video helpful and want to explore more about healthy nutrition, smart eating tips to protect your health, and how to build a sustainable healthy lifestyle, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next videos.